With the newest Sonic racing game seemingly coming soon, I thought it'd be a great idea to do a follow-up video discussing the characters that I think should be in Sonic Racing CrossWorlds. As we already know majority of the racing cast thanks to the first gameplay trailer from Sony's State of Play, we know for a fact that they're leading into the game with a strong lineup, featuring some pretty surprising characters such as Zaz and Sage. Speaking of Zaz, I think it would only make sense if you went ahead and threw in the rest of the Deadly Six. As much as I'm not a big fan of them, I feel like it would be very off-putting to just have Zaz and Zavik. It would just be like them only including Jet and Wave from the Babylon Rogue, leaving Storm out. So I think it's a given that the rest of the Deadly Six deserve a slot on the roster as well. I get Zaz and Zavik are likely the most favorited of the group. Again, it would be a wasted potential to have them not all return for this spin-off title. If you watched my previous video about Sonic Racing CrossWorlds, going in depth about my opinions and impression of the closed network test that they recently did, you already know that I'm a huge supporter for Tangled Lemur getting in, extending that to Whisper, Rough and Tumble, maybe even going as far as Starline, and especially Surge and Kid. This would be the perfect game to start introducing the IDW comic characters into. It'd be super exciting to finally give these characters voices. With them putting in Prime characters, I think it only makes more sense to include IDW characters as well. I feel Prime just opens the doorway for including characters from outside of the gaming universe, making it more possible to include more side characters from other parts of Sonic's universe that's presented in other forms of media for the franchise. Especially since it doesn't really need that much of an explanation as to why some of these characters would appear. Even if there is a story tied to the game in some way, shape, or form, the easy way of explaining it is that Dodonpa allowed for them to be on the roster, given that he is an interdimensional being able to travel through space and time and explore the multiverse. So also going as far as including characters such as Tikal, Chaos, Infinite, Marine, Styx, and has much of a higher chance of appearing within this title. At least, I'd like to believe that they do. Especially Gerald, Robotnik, and Maria, considering it'd be so cool to have another game with them in it. Again, I also feel like this would be another missed opportunity to not reuse the amazingly new models that they created for them within Shadow Gens. Building further on top of that, having classic characters appear alongside the modern cast would be really cool. Getting Fang in, the newly introduced character Trip before she becomes another forgotten character, please I beg of you, Bean, Bark, maybe even Honey the Cat. The possibilities are quite literally endless. They could also include characters from the movie universe. I highly doubt they'd go as far as including human characters aside from maybe Agent Stone. Seeing movie Robotnik there would be pretty cool, but I doubt they'd go that far. But the movie cast alone, such as the main trio's movie counterparts and Shadow's movie counterpart, could definitely make an appearance within the game. Movie Amy and Movie Metal as well perhaps, in a way to promote Sonic 4 when we get closer to the release of that in 2027, which I do think the game could likely last that long. They've really just got to keep supporting the game. I feel like there are a lot of things that they can do in terms of content and collaborations to extend the game well past 2027, but we can save that conversation for another video. A character that I don't think anyone saw included in the gameplay trailer is Big the Cat. I'm not sure if he's been spotted anywhere or if anything in the game hints to him being in it at all, but considering he was included in the past racing titles, I think it only makes sense to include him in this, as well as doing something similar to what they're already doing with Cream having cheese. You could easily have Froggy hopping on top of Big's head while he's racing. I don't know how likely it'd be getting characters that are an alternative to the main character, considering we're getting Prime counterparts, and if movie counterparts are also on the table, I think having something like Neo Metal Sonic should definitely be up for consideration, even if it's just a skin for Metal Sonic outright. The recent highlights he's gotten over the past few years, from the comics to Metal Overlord being included in Shadow Generations as a boss, I think it only make more sense to include him in something like this. Aside from Sonic characters, we know that Sega characters in general will likely be represented in this game alongside them, just in a much smaller portion I'd imagine. But hopefully the selection isn't limited. I think having characters such as II and some more Monkey Ball cast members, especially using some of the new designs from Banana Rumble, I could definitely see characters like Morgana and maybe even Teddy getting in as Persona reps, maybe even going as far as putting in Makoto or maybe even Aegis from Persona 3. Considering Sonic has been featured in Puyo Puyo before, I think it only make more sense for them to include some reps from there as well. Arl and Ringo would be really good choices, as well as Shezo. Though I think it would just be really funny to have a Puyo as a designated driver. Could you imagine a Puyo styling on an Extreme Gearboard? The Like a Dragon or Yakuza franchise has a lot of good characters to pick from, but I personally think having the big three Kiryu, Majima, and Ichiban as the three main characters to choose from would be really nice. Previous picks from other games such as Ulala, Amigo, Beat, and BD Joe would be pretty nice as well, but I'm curious what deep cut characters that they could throw into this game, considering that Lava Cave is a deep cut within itself, referencing Galaxy Force 2. Are there any deep cut characters you're hoping to see? I know a lot of people would really love Rystar, and even seeing Knights again would be really nice. Sonic Racing CrossWorlds has a lot of potential for opening the doorway for multiple collabs outside of the Sega brand as well. With recent collabs such as DC, Godzilla, and the Among Us collab and Banana Rumble, I think there's a lot of room for potential for other franchises to get represented within the game as well. I would love to see maybe Banjo coming back. Crash Bandicoot would be a fantastic character to put in, but I can only dream of that happening. Ratchet & Clank would be really awesome. As I mentioned, the DC collab, getting some DC characters or even skins for some of the characters within the game would be really nice. LEGO would also be an amazing thing to look into, as they did DLC with them for Superstars. As I've said, there's honestly just so much you can do with CrossWorlds, and I really hope to see them push this game for its full potential. Those are pretty much all the characters I could think of right now, but I'm sure there are plenty others that could make it in. Are there any characters that you really want in? Let me know in the comments down below. If you like this video, please leave a like and share it around. I'd also like to encourage you to subscribe and click that notification bell to keep up with more Sonic content over here, and just be notified whenever I upload a new video or live stream. I look forward to discussing more things and all things Sonic with you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys later.